Hello folks, and welcome back to the Scottish Model Railway Guide. So, in the last episode of Altonhill pit number 6, which is a new zone that's coming to my layout, about this, but I stopped after putting on these top parts. Now what happens next is you put these wheels through there, and then sort of shaft goes through there, and then you can freewheel them, and that'll look awesome, I've no doubt. However, I got these little geared motors from Amazon. I think it was £9 for two, right? And you can see there's two little terminals at the end, positive and negative. The plan is, one way or another, to stick that on there and make it turn. Now, why do I want to do that? Well, I was down at Kilmarnock District Model Railway Club for the first time the other week there, and it was a thing that was said, you know, make the layout interesting, make it entertaining. So I think it'd be good to see that turn on its own, just ticking away while the layout's going. And I think this little 3-volt motor will do the trick. But the other trick is finding a way to drive it, so I can either drive it there with a sort of belt hitting the shaft in the middle, or I can, I don't know, put it that way and catch it at the end and drive the whole shaft. I tend to think a centre drive will be best, and that's what I'm initially going to go with. So yeah, let's see what happens when we apply 3 volts to this now. Okay, so coming down here, I've already taken out these two connectors. So these two normally power up, you know, lights on the layout and all that sort of stuff. Now there's 3 volts on this one and 5 volts on this one. If you remember from my previous electronic videos, you get 12 volts coming for the Hornby controller, and these are voltage reducers or steppers, and then you can pick, you know, this whole bar is 5 volts and this whole bar is 3 volts. Now the motor came listed as 3 volts, so the challenge is, can we get it to turn when we apply 3 volts? So let's do that. So I'm hoping you can see that's turning, and it's not too fast, and that's because of these little gears here. Let me bring it up closer and try to focus it in if I can. I'm not sure you can see that, but trust me when I say there's little gears there, and I think you can surely see that turning and see the mechanism turning. So all we have to do is get 3 volts onto this. We know it works, and we know it's not going to be a problem. The hard bit is going to be getting it mounted properly. So let's see what we can do with that. So first things first, we're going to have to, you know, with these two little connectors here at the back, get them soldered onto that. If you hang on, you'll see that. But for those that haven't seen this before with regards wires, the easiest way, so this is going to plug back into where I was showing you a minute ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bootlace that. So this is a bootlace ferrule. You stick it on there, and you get one of these crimp tools. Part number's there, if you're ever looking for it. Clamp it, turn it 90 degrees, clamp it, and then you've got a really good connection. Now on the other end, all we're going to do is actually strip it and bare it. In fact, I'll give myself a little bit more, and then we'll twist it. Now what we'll do at the back end in a wee minute is tin that wire. By tin the wire I mean cover it in solder, and then ultimately solder it onto that, and that will give us a firm connection. So hang on, let's jump to soldering. So what I learned was I am awful at soldering. That took me ages, and I guess I need to practice a bit. I'm going to switch it all on, give you a wee click as I do, and I hope you can see that turning. I think you can. So, with that in mind, my wee 3-volt geared motor is going to go up here somewhere, and the next step is to get it mounted so that it can start turning that wheel. But first of all, I'll do a wee trial run, so hang on. And there we have it. Well, kinda. After the really sketchy solder job, I've stuck this through here. So I did try, you know, little belt drives with an elastic band. The thoughts were I would run a shaft through the middle and then belt drive it going up here. That didn't work out because these aren't, you know, bearings in here. It's just wood, so it was constantly sticking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this on. You'll hear a wee click. And now we can see it actually turning. Now all that is at the moment is stuck through there. You can see I'm holding the motor on. It's a nice smooth movement. And what I'll do with the other one is I'm going to drive it like this too, and then hopefully I can get a better solder job on that one. I'll need to do a bit of practicing. But either way, we'll have these two wheels turning, and I'll eventually switch them, and you'll see that in future episodes, so do remember to subscribe. But yeah, that's how it's going to look. I'll get it one way or another. Once we've got all the electronics done, or once we've got the basic motors in, what we're going to do next is have them reversible, so that, you know, I've got a little console sitting at the bottom of the layout over by that area that you can change it forwards or backwards or whatever. Ultimately, I may have something going up and down, but we will see. So yeah, please do consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed this episode, remember to throw me a like, and I'll see you folks again. Thank you very much.